Hey Eljay, where can I go to find the next Bionicle set?
Why, I'm glad you asked, Medium Johnny. If you head on over to ideas.lego.com and search up The Legend of the Bionicle, celebrating 20 years of LEGO Stories by Sokoda, you can pledge your support to get that project to 10,000 supporters, after which LEGO will review it to determine whether or not it becomes a real LEGO set sold on store shelves. Link in the description below.
Oh, wow, that's great. I guess I'll go support it then.
That's the spirit, Medium Johnny. And don't forget to look both ways before crossing the street.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to TTV episode.
It's 336, Meso. Come on.
336. No, I'm Meso.
I'm Eljay.
And I'm Tenebrae Invictus.
How are you all doing this fine Saturday?
I'm starting to really understand Var's headspace like 5 years ago.
What?
Just sheer unbridled disappointment with every human being around me.
What?
Gee, I'm sorry. I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry.
Why are you disappointed?
So many reasons that I don't even have time enough to explain. How are you guys doing?
Is it because lag made me like half a second late in saying the thing?
Half a second. That's funny. Wrong, but funny.
I got a big secret for you, Eljay.
It doesn't matter. Welcome everyone to the state of the channel. We're very glad that you're here today.
I have quality standards for things that merit them.
I can tell.
Alright. How's everyone doing?
I'm tired.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's in good spirits right now.
Rip.
You're supposed to have a bit of a bigger show, but
Yes.
people
Yeah, where's everybody at?
People
Where's
in
everybody
the show,
at?
so we're down to a 3-person podcast.
3-person podcast on a 13-person group.
That's a big yikes.
That is a huge yikes.
The yikes.
Gigantic yikes.
I'm sure people will join midway through.
Yeah,
They're
I'm
not
so
welcome.
looking forward to that happening. Not like that's one of my pet peeves or anything.
I know, right?
I will find you, and I will kill you.
We'll try.
I will succeed, cause I'm a lumberjack.
This guy's making death threats.
Someone
Oh,
call
that's
911.
LJ Masters
He's got an intent to kill.
I can always try to rally Fleff from Facebook.
Oh, give it a break. Yeah, you know where you want to rally her on Steam. She's playing Skyrim right now.
Oh no, really?
Yes, that's where she's at. Welcome everyone to the state of the channel.
LJ,
Well, better put myself on offline on Steve.
are you okay, LJ? Are you okay?
I'm far. I'm freaking far from okay.
No, man. I'm freaking far from okay.
LJ, far from okay. The new hit movie. Yay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yay.
Well, it's alright. There's some fun stuff to talk about this week.
Yeah,
Who's joined?
there.
I thought for a second one of us joined, but it was just it's a bad.
No. If only.
Yeah.
Patron says, "Dang, we have 10 unlockable podcast members." There you go.
It's the TTV, the Lego TTV game.
You gotta
okay.
complete our unlock prerequisites.
This stupid... That is making me so angry every time I look at it, because all the images are slightly out of sync. And so every time I look at it, it just makes me very mad.
You have to go... The hub for the Lego TTV game is the Dola's Expo Center.
Yes.
Okay, I really want to talk about what's on screen right now, Meso. Can we talk about it, please?
Is it the set?
Yes, it's a set. It's absolutely
Okay.
a set, because I want to talk about it, because I want to address something that's just it's one of my various annoyances today.
Okay.
But let's kind of preface it. Do you want to start off? Or?
Yeah, I'll do it. So recently, LEGO Ideas changed their policies, super TLDR, super abridged, to allow different IPs on the platform, both licensed and non-licensed. Ergo, Bionicle projects are fair game on LEGO Ideas. We made a video about this. There's a bunch of cool mocks out there, a bunch of cool mocks being worked on. There's one in particular that we're like rallying behind as like our sports team, if you will, that we are repping here in this wild and crazy race, and that is the Legend of the Bionicle by Sokoda, which is a diorama of 3 big moments from Bionicle's life, which you can see on screen, 2001, 2007, and 2010. And Eljay, you can go further into it.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I mean, it's just great. It's a freaking outstanding project. Obviously enough, it's called Celebrating 20 Years, and as such, it picks 3 moments to commemorate the 10 years overall. It all represents something, and they're all very iconic moments from the Bionicle Generation 1 story. You have the beach in Tawahi, with the canister washing up Tahu's walking along, telescope. You have the Makuta Matnui stone, and it's a very iconic scene. Then you have Motoro sacrificing himself with the Kanohi Ganika, which is also immensely iconic. He does a great job of adapting the panel, the page that Sturt Sager illustrated. And then finally you have the Matnui robot versus the other Matnui robot, at the time inhabited by Makuta, and it's the final big battle from Bionicle. And it all rotates on a platform which is also illustrated with Unity, Duty, Destiny, and Matoran lettering. And it's just fantastic. It's an absolutely outstanding project. It's a great commemoration for the theme. And currently we're trying very hard to get it to 10,000 supporters, because that's what it will take to get it thrown into the review
More
process.
than that, we're trying to get it there very quickly
Yes.
to show LEGO that there's a demand.
Yes.
The fastest that it goes through, obviously they'll be like, oh, hey, there's something to this. So we're kind of doing like a promotional front on all forms of social media. And we have something else fun cooked up, like a pre-roll video ad that will be debuting, I think, with the... I think it'll start with the video release of the last Brick Feed. I was going to release yesterday, but I've held off because I want to put the ad up.
Okay, fair enough.
And we'll start on that. And that's going to be fun. It's going to be very critical to tell your friends and spread the word, because, the way the Bionicle community works nowadays, it's not like there's one hub place you could all go to and just be like, hey, look at this. And then it will permeate into the Bionicle community at large. Bionicle is like fragmented into 10 separate sub-communities, So it's really important that you pollinate through them. It's true,
Yeah.
Ghost Town of BZP. What?
No, sorry. You cut out and you just started with Ghost Town and BZP.
Oh.
No.
Fair enough. No, just a bunch of different areas, bunch of different, sections fragmented. You have the Ghost Town of BZP, you got, 4chan, you got, Reddit, you got Instagram, you got Tumblr, you got the TTV message boards, you got YouTube, and then you have the Discord subsections for all of those.
Yeah.
So it's important that people are made aware of this project's existence and the fact that Bionicle on LEGO Ideas is a thing, because through that's the only chance it has of actually going anywhere. Now, I think it's very... There's merit to addressing this, Eljay,
Mm-hmm.
because I see people in a lot of comments going like, "Well, why aren't you supporting?"
Yeah, okay,
blank?
so this is what I really
supporting
want to
this.
talk about. So, when we did Brickfeed last weekend, this wasn't actually on the website. Meso and I were aware of it, and so we didn't really talk about it, but I asked Meso to hold off on talking about any of the other projects because I wanted to really focus attention to something that I thought had a really good shot at becoming a set, because I thought it was realistic. It was a realistic concept, and I thought it had the best chance of actually getting into the review stage and very potentially becoming a product. So at the time, the Bee's Knees Bionicle Ideas project is, and I'll go ahead and say it. I'll say what it is, and I'll go ahead and post it for everyone in the patron chat. It's Bionicle Toa and the Temple of Time by Grumble Bricks. What it features is 3 sections of a location, plus a tree, plus a Usul crab, and all 6 Tomata, 2 Chiraga, Takanuva, and Makuta. So
A
here's
lot
the
of
deal.
stuff.
I think that if you want to support this project, there is no harm in it. None at all. I think support as many Bionicle projects on ideas as is possible. You know, more support, the better, because it just means more are going to be, you know, sent up through the chain and hopefully getting to 10,000.
Yeah.
At the same time, there was a very specific reason I asked Meso to hold off on talking about this one. And it's because I don't necessarily believe that it is a realistic product concept. Like with Sokoda obviously has a really solid understanding on parts usage and the limitations and the expectations of the Ideas platform. It's a very dense, cohesive, very solid concept as a model. Like, it already looks like something that I could possibly see. Maybe it's a little bit rougher of a model than a Lego set would be. With Grumble Bricks, and again, no disrespect to him or the project, really, because his ambition it was strong enough to make it. So it's admirable. He made it. He posted it. He's trying to do what he can. I just think that the project to me always felt very disconnected from itself. Like, there's just a lot of stuff in there that doesn't really connect well together. And a lot of the things in it have a very, very, very specific appeal to people like us. Like Bionicle fans who are in the community, who are very high affinity, who look at this stuff and go, yes, that's Tahunga Head. That's an Usul Crab. Those are the Toamata. That's a Bionicle piece. It's Tahu's sword. It's the mask from Hydraxon, and so on. And so it's Liwa's axe by the Turaga head, or Tahunga head. You know, it's a lot of stuff that I can look at and go, yeah, oh, right, I'd love to see that in a product one day. But it's not, there isn't a whole lot of stuff that if you put it on a shelf and showed it to someone, they'd go, yeah, I know what that is. With the Ideas set, I feel like there is that degree, because it is Bionicle. You know, you're always going to have that degree when it comes to this theme. However, it has enough, it casts a wide enough net with the specific scenes that it has to where you can catch a much larger range of people. Like, if somebody walked by and saw the beach, there's a really darn good chance they're going to know what that is because of exactly how well known Mnog was at the time Bionicle was really, really popular, you know, 01, 02, 03, that era. And then even then, when you have fans coming in and enjoying the theme later on down the line and they see the other things, they'll recognize those scenes because they're just very prominent. So, I obviously have a really strong affinity for Sokodas. I think that it's just expertly crafted. It's really smart in how it conveys what it conveys. So that's why we're really focusing on that one to try and get it as much support as possible, which does inevitably mean we probably won't be mentioning the others. And that does include the Temple of Time.
We don't all think the same way about it, though. There's different points of view. Because I'm kind of the belief that like everything should be supported, but I do agree that I would like for the first one to reach 10,000 to be a success. My skepticism can be boiled down to much simpler terms, and that is this one uses Bionicle pieces, ergo it won't be made. That's a real easy way to put it. And like I admit I would like the first one to reach 10,000 to be one that Lego would like actually produce in a relatively unchanged state. I happen to like the build of this one a lot. I'm just skeptical that Lego would produce it. I do have another question though about recognizability, because I'm curious to hear your take on that. Because I would say that arguably if someone played Monog and they are familiar with the beach, obviously that's way more iconic than the other, but it would wager that they would also probably be familiar with Pokoro, which had a bunch of Tahunga heads lined up.
Maybe, but it's just a Tahunga head with a bunch of other stuff.
And also,
at that point.
At what point, because this was a conversation last night, we were talking about this set, it's like, at what point do you think Mask of Light is more immediately recognizable than 07 or 2010?
Mask of Light?
Yeah, because it was the movie. I'm curious, like, how far of a reach do you think that Mask of Light has? In the mainstream recognizability. Point being, this set has Takanuva and an Usul crab.
Okay. In all fairness, the set has large crab-looking creature and white and gold minifigure and red and black minifigure. If you asked me to look at those in a vacuum and said, do you know who these are? I'm not sure I'd be able to tell you. And that's, again, not to besmirch Grumble Bricks or the project. I'm just saying I don't think your recognizability is there with those two. I don't think that is a conveyance. Is that a word? Conveyance?
I believe so.
Of Mask of Light. Again, it's a concept which has its roots in Mask of Light, obviously. I'm just saying, I don't know if I can pick that out from, say, Golden Lloyd or, oh gosh, First Spin Jitsu Master, Wu from Hunted. You know, white, gold.
I mean, obviously it's simply because of how he built this mock. He didn't use custom textures like Sokoda did in order to get the mocks, the minifigures to look even relatively like Bionicle characters. He had to use the Hero Factory template, which, if this did get through, I would hope Lego would not do. I would hope they would make alterations to it to allow for normal minifigures, at which point the recognizability factor might completely differ. But the here and the now, the project we have, that is a fair point to make. None of the Toa are overtly recognizable.
I'm just going to say, personally, if I was not a Bionicle fan, I would probably look at both of these and be like, hey, these are both vaguely Bionicle. I don't really understand either of these, but I know it's Bionicle.
Yeah. Like the point,
I think I would just be like, yeah, kind of something from my childhood. I don't really.
A point was made while we were discussing it last night. I forget who said it. It was VarX or somebody else, but about how like, because we were talking about the recognizability between projects. We were trying to figure out a more interesting discussion rather than critiquing like the mocks by themselves. Trying just to figure out what's recognizable in Bionicle. And the point was raised that, like, would the Modern Nui robots even, like, be? Or is that too far, like, niche past when Bionicle was actually popular in the mainstream to actually have that kind of, like, knowledge? I don't really know.
They probably I mean, they're definitely not as mainstream as, say, a Toamata would be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's one of the things I like about the project is that, it casts a large net. You have the people that do recognize the Matanui robot, which, again, is something I personally really want to see, since I pushed so hard to see a Matanui robot in a set back in 2010 when Bionicle ended. I thought that's really what we needed instead of, the stars.
It was a big deal way back when.
Or alongside them, at least.
Robot.
Yeah. So I think that would be great to see. So it gets people like me in the net. And then you have the Matoro scene, which, I mean, that was obviously very large. It was a big moment. And it's your minifigure.
One of the most iconic from Bionicle's story.
Yeah.
And Matoro is like whatever. The fact that it's the Mask of Life, that's a big deal. The fact that he was able to get the Mask of Life printed onto a Lego helmet and have it actually look decent. That's commendable.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have the beach. Now, there have been a lot of people I've seen say, well, I would have liked if it was just the beach. Or I'm not going to support the project because it doesn't have all 6 of the Toamata as minifigures in the set. That's why a lot of people really, really like Grumble Bricks, is because at least he has all 6 Toa. And I do get that. At the same time... Okay, the only other thing that I would like to see as a project, and I've always said this, I've said this for easily 2-3 years, is I'd love a system Kininui. Gosh, I would love a system Kininui. Kininui, you could put all of the Toa in there. Somehow you'd have to pull off the masks. I figure you would do it in a way very similar to how Sokoda has done it, which is like the Wasp helmet piece, and just print the details on.
Yeah.
And then, boom, you have a really cool location, and you have all 6 of the Mata. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, these are all things that can be done as well.
But at the
My
same...
wish list, like, I want to see a Kininui. There's a UCS Tahu that's being built. I like that concept of like large scale Bonkle figures. I want to see still a UCS Great Spirit robot, actually built out of bricks, and those are pretty much the main 3. Do I think that any of them will get made? No, I think the large scale figures are a much tougher sell than a small diorama like Sokoda has crafted.
See, I don't know. I would have agreed with you up until recently, because we recently had the first 2019 review results, and during them, this is something I failed to mention during Brickfeed. During the review process, or the article that they posted, there is a project called Anatomini, and it is a minifigure with a skeleton coming out of it. So it's the anatomy of a minifig. And it is actually still in review. It's huge. It's absolutely massive. And they are still reviewing whether or not it's feasible, because, and they state, although the concept has intrigued our review board, they require additional time to make a decision due to the highly complex design.
Really?
Yeah, and let me go ahead and get you a picture of this. Or I'll go ahead and post the project, and then I'll go ahead and put the image up.
Oh my god.
So it's a very fascinating
This is amazing.
project.
I want this.
It's kind of disturbing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, it really surprised me that it's still in review, because this is not something I ever would have expected as something for consideration.
Gotta let them down easy.
Tooth Dominoes makes a great comment. Oh yeah, I've seen the big Tahu. It's pretty cool, and it probably will reach the kind of people that go, oh man, I remember Bionicles. I had the red one. He was so cool. Yeah, there's demographics. There's an audience. So like great spirit robot and Tahu, like those are 2 large scale figures that I would support. Especially if there's a precedent for this thing. Like I didn't know about this. I've been woefully out of the loop.
precedent is maybe a stretch, but well, okay, yeah, no.
There's a precedent for a large figure reaching 10,000.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Clarify.
So personally, I wouldn't like to see a large scale of any of the Tomata. Not because I think it couldn't be done well. Obviously, the one that is being worked on is very technically impressive. I just don't think that's something that would interest me. It's like, I have the Tomata. I don't need a bigger one. I don't need a bigger Tahu. That's just really complex to build. And is just
fair. I mean, yeah, if I had to choose one or the other, it would definitely be the Matanui robot.
Yeah, it's like...
I think that would work better in system anyway.
It's like how I didn't need Titan Matanui alongside normal-sized Matanui, except for the fact that I had the Gold Ignika. Okay, I needed that. But I didn't need a larger Matanui. I wanted the Matoran universe.
Yeah. That was the no-brainer option. They just never did. So I guess it wasn't really a no-brainer. No, it wasn't. Oh, boy.
So.
Well, either way, Sokoda's project, you know, is it perfect? No, I'm sure there's like a few things you could disagree with, especially if you're not a fan of the moments listed and you'd rather something else. But on the whole, it does for me what I really wanted to see from a Bionicle Ideas project, and it's representative. By which I mean, it covers not only the big three eras of Bionicle's story, Golden Years, Ignition, and then the finale. Metro Nui doesn't count because it's prequel, which Sokoda didn't put in, and thank you for that, for not putting Metro Nui in.
Yeah, there were people that were saying, well, it doesn't have Takanuva or the Telemetru, so I don't like it, and I'm just...
Yeah.
Gosh dang it.
I mean, Takanuva would have been neat. A lot of things would have been neat. A Tahu minifigure would have been neat. You know, more than one minifigure would have been neat, but it didn't work in the theme of the build, which works just fine as it is. So, if anything, adding those extra things would have just, like, cluttered it up.
See, my thing is, let's say, I'm going to dream for a little bit here. That's cool. Let's say it gets 10,000. It becomes a set. It gets put on shelves, put on Lego.com, shop at home. It's a hit success. Boom, flying off the shelves. Back ordered. People are they're just pining for the set. They're like, gosh dang, we want another one.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can get another one with another 3 moments. You know?
Yeah.
There you go.
Like, obviously, I don't want to contort this into, like, some kind of a way to bring Bionicle back. However, it should not be understated that this is about the closest chance that there is to something like that happening anytime in the near future with any kind of degree of potential success whatsoever. I have no faith it will ever come back because Constraction, sorry fellas, and I have no faith that will come back of Lego's own volition. But if you give them an idea and you give them inspiration and you get rid of the stigma that exists that Bionicle can't be done as minifigures, then you could maybe do something cool, and that's why this is so important.
Yeah. Also, real quick, to people saying, yeah, no, I think those are fair. I'd like something like that too, regarding the Takanuva and Metru. I get it. I get there's a lot of things that people want, but you can't spend a whole lot of time going, well, I would have liked to have seen this, instead of going, this is really good for what it is. Because Bionicle lasted 10 years. There's always going to be something that you can take and go, well, I wanted this in here. There's always going to be that. For instance, I can go, well, I wanted a Liwa minifigure in here, Liwa Mata, with a golden Miru, so I can add to my sig fig. Well, sure, I would have liked that, but I'm not sure that's what's best for the model. You know, the model is trying to accomplish something very specific in the best way that it can, and pulling a Bionicle isn't the best way to get a Bionicle set on shelves. By that I mean adding a bunch of things which may not be necessary to add.
We've spoken about this before. Bionicle means a lot to many different people. So like it's impossible to make something that encompasses like everything for everyone, because there's things that people really like about the story and there's things people really don't. Some people obviously really like Metro Nui. You know, Var really doesn't like '09. I really don't like '05. Like but like if Sokoda had put a Hordika in this set, I probably would have been less inclined to like it immediately. I don't know. I can't think of alternate universe me. He might react very poorly to Hordika. I got no clue what I would do. But that's the point. Is there's like 10 years and 10 different stories and many different genres and characters. You can't do everything.
Yeah.
Look at it as a microcosm. Sokoda says the scenes I chose are symbolizing the 3 virtues and pivotal points of the story. That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
Is it's the 3 eras.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then, even moving past the story perspective, even disregarding story completely, it's good variety from a set perspective as well, which is why I enjoy it. It's not all one thing. You have the micro scale super chat.
Yes.
I'll pause.
The micro
We'll do
scale
the
super
super
chat. Yeah, so we got a super chat from Adrian G. It was $1.99. And he says, "Thank you, TTV, for being the logical beings you are." Well, thank you, Adrian, for being the kind and generous person that you are.
You're a great being, Adrian G.
Oh, I love it. That's
Also,
great.
only some of us are logical beings.
No, it represents the different like microcosms of Lego building, because you have the micro scale, like the freaking initial Minecraft ideas set, you know, the tiny builds.
Yeah, that's...
Then you have regular minifigs, and then you have what I'm calling construction figures.
You shouldn't.
Even though they aren't really,
You
but
definitely shouldn't.
That's what that is in the
I
modern era.
would at least call them buildable figures.
They're construction.
They're...
They're what construction is nowadays.
like the
except that
Minecraft big figs.
your CCBS god is dead.
Yeah.
It's all about the Minecraft big figs now.
Yeah, oh my. You.
Construction's last hope.
Yup. So anyway, it has the 3 different facets of Lego. I get some variety from each one of those dioramas, and yet they're all valid. They all work with Bionicle, and they all work with the story really well. So that's why I like it.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was one big diorama of like one moment, that would have been cool from a set design perspective, but I feel like I would
Well,
maybe not get bored, but I would not have as much variety in a package.
it would have been cool from a conceptual perspective as a fan of the franchise. I think this is cooler from a set design perspective because it's 3 dioramas. Like it's the kind of thing that I feel so perfectly encapsulates what I think of when I think of ideas sets. Specifically, there's something that packs a lot of detail into the set. Idea sets are super dense. They're super, super, super freaking dense. And that's awesome. There's just so much to idea sets. And they're all really... They're really good. Like, even the ones that I don't have, that I have had a hand in building at a point with other people, have been awesome. They're just really, almost always, super, super solid. I can only think of very few exceptions.
And again, I love it because even though it's good for an idea set, you're totally right. It's also just good for like a 20th anniversary or 20-year celebration set.
Yeah.
Which is another one of the reasons I think it has a chance at going through.
Mm-hmm.
So
No,
it's great.
And that's why I'm saying, it's easy to say, well, I wish it had the Metro. Well, I wish it had the Kini Nui. Well, I wish it had Takanuva. Well, I wish it had... It doesn't. It doesn't. It's very specific. And I honestly think that's for the best right now. But you know what? Instead of just saying, I wish it had, go out and make your own. And I don't say that to be... I don't say that in a dismissive sense. I'm trying to say that encouragingly. Make your idea, make your vision for what you think would be a great 20-year anniversary set or a Bionicle Ideas set, and submit it. Just go all out. Go all in on that. Be as creative as you think you can be, and bring whatever vision you have to the community, online, to life. by all means, go nuts. Obviously, I want you to still support this because I think that
Yes.
the more people that do, the more maybe, the ethereal being Lego, Lego will look at this and go, interesting. Go on. So
This
I
is like
think
what I've been wanting for years. All those dumb petitions people would always make, and they're like, "We have to show Lego that we still care about Bionicle and that the fans are alive, and we're gonna dedicate all our time to harassing Lego and making Bring Back Bionicle campaigns." It's like this is that, but through proper channels that might
Yeah.
actually stand a chance of success.
yeah.
So it's such a relief to me to finally have a place to funnel all that frustration.
Yeah.
I never wanted people to do that because I wanted Bionicle to be spoken of through creative works rather than harassing Lego with names on a list. This one does both.
And I think this is perhaps one of the most realistic times it can be doable, because back on old Lego Cuso, before Ideas was called
yes.
Ideas, they people did do Bring Back Bionicle petitions, and they went nowhere. They're like less than 500 signatures easily. This is already skyrocketing within a couple days, so
This is true. This is very true.
this is probably the best time that we've got,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
and most feasible, obviously.
Also that, yeah.
obviously enough, a lot of ideas submissions are made as anniversary concepts. I believe like Ghostbusters was one of them, the Ecto one. I'm confident that the Beatles' Yellow Submarine was one. I know that the Apollo Saturn V is one, and so on and so forth. So obviously enough, this is something that appeals to people. The anniversary of something. Steamboat Willie, which the muddier waters, but it's a thing. I think the Friends one as well. I don't know about Friends, but you get my point.
Wait, and what this means is, it means we gotta get this to 10,000 fast, so they actually have enough of a production pipeline time to make this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what this means.
Because there's still a process that has to go through. It has to be seen if it's viable. Has to be cleared, and I mean, I don't know how the process works. I'm not a member of their team.
There's a lot of
I don't know.
review that has to be done, as well as remaking or potentially altering some things if it's not deemed fit for a Lego set.
Yeah.
Sadly, I don't think Matoro's printing will probably carry through as heavily as I would love for it to.
I think Matoro's printing is probably the most pipe dreamy aspect of the entire project, which is I like it because I'd love to see that, but no way. If something's gonna happen, it's gonna be to that.
I want that printing.
Yeah, you better get over that.
No.
um,
I can give up the side leg printing. That's it.
You're optimistic, buddy.
That's not a quote I ever thought would have been a truth.
Dude, I've been saying that about you for the last 6 months to a year.
Haley, she takes the credit.
I guess. But yeah, so I think this is important enough to Bionicle fans to give support to. I think if you've ever wanted another Bionicle set on shelves ever again, right now is a good opportunity to show that. Share it with your friends. I don't think that you should be forcing people who don't even like Bionicle to support it. Or I definitely don't think you should be making duplicate accounts to support it. Just make your account, support it, and then that's it. Spread the word if you can. Because you gotta show genuine support for something like this, because what the support is telling Ideas is that there are people out there who would actually purchase this product. And the other two methods don't do that. They fail to actually convey the interest and desire for it. So let's try and be as genuine and sincere about supporting this as is possible.
Yeah. Also, Tooth Dominoes our best ever person posted on Twitter and was like, absolutely adore this. I'm rooting for this project. Go have a look. Without a doubt, I think this would be the perfect project for Prince Galador and me to take on. And I'm like, yes. All of my yes, if that happens.
But will we get a Galador reference? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We get a sticker under.
I'll take a pass. Maybe under.
It's a sticker under the platform.
I'm
Oh,
down
gosh.
for that. Representing how Bionicle had to like build on top of Galador's failure to succeed.
Okay, you stop that.
Hold up. Revisionist history over here.
There you go.
Have you even seen Galador?
No, I'm not.
I bet you can't even name 3 of their songs.
Nope.
But yeah, so
All right. I think
it's
that's gonna be close to about it.
yeah, no, Meso.
But
Why'd you do that? You put his dominoes in that position. Why would you?
Listen, because it's important for people to recognize.
Now that
If this goes through,
There-
we're gonna get a quality product.
okay, hang on. That is actually one other thing that merits mention. All we can do is support the project to 10,000. Okay, that is all we're going to be able to do, and then it's out of our hands. At that point, our job of letting Lego know that we're interested is done.
And they very well probably will refuse it.
They may refuse it for any number of reasons, okay? And don't think for a second it's just because, you know, the ethereal Lego hates Bionicle.
Which people will think.
Which
even
of
though
course
you're trying to
people will
get them
think,
to.
but try not to. Just understand that there are any number of reasons it can be refused. Or it
Do
can
not
be...
blame Lego if it doesn't go through. Blame G2
Well,
for
here we
damaging
go.
brand confidence.
But Meso, that's circular, because if you blame G2, then you blame Lego for screwing up G2. So we've come back to square one.
Yeah, true.
So, just want to stress that. I'm optimistic that it can get to 10,000, and after that point, I actually think it has a really good shot of becoming a set. Which is why I'm
I think
stressing...
it really is a good shot if you hone in on the 20th year aspect, which is what Sokoda has done.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily enough to just hone in on that. I think that obviously is important,
It's the biggest thing.
but I think it helps that the presentation is freaking immaculate, and
Well, yeah.
Sokoda has obviously done a very skillful job of illustrating everything.
I'm thinking from the perspective of persuading Lego. There's an added incentive to release a Bionicle set now.
Sure. So, also, to a few of the people in the chat saying, so Vessi was saying, it's definitely a good build, I just don't think kids will attach to this, like kids attach to the Friends Central Perk set, or like kids attached to the,
upside down set.
like kids attached to the Big Bang Theory set.
Yeah, Lego Ideas is not about starting up new play themes for everybody.
Yeah, you have to understand that Ideas casts a super wide net. However, there is certainly quite a focus on older fans of Lego. The Flintstones, Ship in a Bottle. I don't know if I'd count Voltron because Voltron is like an actual show currently, but the project I think was more gauged toward the first show. I say very tentatively and very uncertainly. My point being, Ideas casts a very large net, and not all of its products are kid oriented, and that's
I don't think you gotta worry about that. being a
that
concern.
should not be a concern.
Of all the concerns there are, that is not one of them.
Yeah, no. So, but yeah,
Alright.
just want to let say that again. Support it. Our objective is only to get it to 10,000. At that point, it's out of our hands. Okay.
Yep. And
Also-
we gotta deal with what
Yeah, there we go. 2 dominoes. Yeah, it was based on the '80s Voltron, but the new one being on Netflix did help. So yeah,
That's what I'm saying. There's like a good idea, it's based on something, but if there's an extenuating circumstance that might like incentivize Lego, in my mind, the 20th year aspect is that extenuating circumstance.
Yeah.
So I'm really hopeful that will like tip them over.
Also, to Vessi, who said about the Yellow Submarine, it's a colorful submarine, appeals to kids. The Beatles are an afterthought to that. The set is literally called set number 21306, The Beatles Yellow Submarine.
It's a yellow submarine that appeals to kids.
It is, and I don't mean to call you out or lambast you for this. I'm just saying, it is quite literally The Beatles Yellow Submarine. The Beatles. The submarine is the
If they were making one
afterthought.
to appeal to kids, they would probably they'd probably make a Lego creator set for that or
Yeah.
something like that.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's right in the sense that it has dual purpose. Like, there are possibly some kids who would just see it and be like, that's cool, but it'd be a much smaller demographic. I would imagine it's certainly not the majority of people who would be buying it,
Yeah.
which would be buying it as a collector's piece or, because they're fans of what it's based
Yeah.
off of. But I mean, the fact that it does have that appeal is
Yeah.
good.
And of course, Vessi follows up saying, regarding the central perk, they are just one central location that kids don't need to know the story behind them to like them. With Sokoda's build is very specific, which I would infer to mean with the central perk set, you don't really need to know what it is to know, well, it's a building with people in it. Well, to that I raise you a similar argument. You don't necessarily even need to really know the story behind two of the dioramas. You only need to know one. Or you only need to know it's a Bionicle set.
Cool robots.
It's or it's just cool designs and prints and minifigures. It's very circular. We can go on for ages. My point being, even if you don't necessarily like it, I still encourage everyone to support it because it is sending an appropriate message that there is interest there.
For once, it's an appropriate message built through creativity and proper channels. Oh,
It's only taken us, I kid you not, 9 years to figure out how to properly send a message in a respectful and appropriate manner, signifying
and
our
for
interest.
Lego, and for Lego to get the tools. So,
Oh, okay,
so
Lego
it's
to-
half our fault, half.
Okay, fair enough.
No,
I don't know, guys. I
it's
still
great.
think we need to make a change.org petition to get Bionicle back.
I think that's what we need to do.
We need the president's help to make this happen.
Also, as of the time of this, I think that the project has jumped to about... It's jumped up about 20 or so supporters, so it's at 1227, which I think is really
Good stuff.
fantastic.
1227.
12:29 right now.
All right, excellent. I need a live counter for this. Where's my Social Blade live counter YouTube 24-hour live stream?
Put it on our channel.
We're going to
Get
be
plenty of
like,
views.
we're gonna be plugging the heck out of this. It's like I said in my video, you guys are gonna get sick of seeing this Bach everywhere. So the best way to make sure you don't is to go support it now. So we don't have to, because we're gonna be talking about this for like basically however long it takes.
Basically up until we get to make the breaking news video. Sokoda's
Exactly.
project has hit 10,000 views.
I want the opportunity to make a breaking news video about a new Bionicle set being released. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to get to that point. So,
Yeah. So
alright.
that's that. Again, no ill will toward any of the other projects. Support as many of them as you would like. But we are definitely going to focus very, very specifically on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
Alright.
We've done it.
That was pretty much the bulk topic for today's podcast.
We spent
'em
47 minutes talking about it. So if we spend
That's
another
appropriate.
20 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes on the other one, and then we can go ahead and wrap.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, like the other thing is a comparative footnote because all the people who I really wanted to have on to discuss this more like at length aren't here.
Yep.
But I basically just wanted to say that a few weeks ago we did the podcast about how Spidey was out of the MCU, and in a stunning turnaround that nobody could have predicted, by which I mean that I totally did predict, he is back in the MCU. Though not in the way I did predict.
Oh, I was so panicked. I thought he was gone for good.
Because the way it happened wasn't exactly how I expected. What I expected was going to happen is that the public outcry would like pressure them into making a decision, and that is potentially even why it was leaked as early into talks as it was. as a negotiating tactic because things weren't going well. I still stand by that, but it wasn't just the public outcry. As we've learned, it was Tom Holland talking to the CEOs about the public outcry. Tom Holland, like, because talks like concluded, everything was broken down, the deal was done, and then Tom Holland reached out and used his influence to get Bob Iger and whoever the Sony guy is to like reopen negotiations by leveraging the fans' dismay with his own like status.
The CEO of Spider-Man.
Dude's a freaking legend. And it's he takes full credit for making this happen. It's actually really cool. But no, this might like be a little pretentious to say now that everything has resolved itself, but like the people who legitimately thought that things were going to be that worst case scenario, like they weren't looking at it logically. Like, as a company, Sony, were they really going to make, we're really going to do this, take away Spidey, put him in their own universe, and make their movies with literally everyone hating them? Like, was that really just what they were going to do after seeing this massive outcry? Just make their movies and have them be reviled and loathed?
Sounded like it.
that would be stupid, because all it takes to make a deal that pleases both people is some concessions on both sides. And the deal that's been put forth does favor Sony a bit more than the initial deal was made. It did, and now, Marvel gets to keep Spidey for at least one more movie, which should be kept in mind. This is not like an indefinite kind of a thing. He's here for one more Spider-Man movie, and then one more movie after that, and then he's probably either gone again, or it's going to get renegotiated. The reason I don't care about that as much is because he will be allowed to finish his trilogy, which was the thing that I was most worried about, is having the story either unfinished or finished in this weird, like, semi-canon state where it happens in another cinematic universe. I wasn't too interested in seeing that. But if he can actually finish his story, and then if they want to have him go be a part of the Sony movies, like, I don't really care about that. He'll get the same amount of movies as, Cap or Iron Man did, and he'll stand, or Thor, and he'll stand in like the pantheon of Marvel greats.
Ooh.
Oh, another super chat.
I didn't realize Invi. Exactly.
Oh, it's set to that's a subscriber.
Oh, is it?
I think that is. We don't have a super chat that popped up. I think that somebody pressed subscribe.
Okay, well, that
Thank you,
we
subscriber.
might, as much as it's appreciated, that one we might need to deactivate.
Yeah,
I thought
Like
that had been turned
if we
off,
have a really
so.
good day, it's just gonna go bling, bling.
Don't start pressing the button, everybody.
Yeah, so, like, if Spidey does leave the MCU after this, I don't really care. I mean, I do, but I can accept it a lot easier than I would have.
As long as there's closure.
I just want my closure. Or they could even do this thing, because Kevin Feige in the statement, he makes a statement along the lines of, Spidey's special, he's the only hero that can cross, like, cinematic universes. And I'm like, as much as we would all hate it, they might need to do a compromise of sorts, where, like, they do a live-action Spider-Verse kind of a thing, where Spidey quite literally, like, goes over to the Sony universe, either periodically or for good.
No.
Just to preserve, like, canonicity, or the Sony movies get, like, merged with the MCU of some kind. Like, if those are my concessions, those are concessions I can live with. They might not be ideal, but I can live with them, versus him just being gone outright.
Oh no.
Look at what's
They're doing it.
That was
Guys, I
just a
said
big
not
bad.
to.
Everybody just start rapid clicking.
Okay, that's it. We're ending the podcast for today.
I'm an agent of chaos.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? I have some harsher words for you,
I'm
but
sure you could tweak it in those sources. You could turn it off.
all right.
What
I'll
else?
find
Tweak
out.
it in the sources. Yeah. Overall, I mean, it's a net positive. There's no way you look at it. It's just, I wonder what it will mean in like 5 years' time from now. We'll have to see, because Sony's still moving forward with their villain slate, and I'm sure they still want to use Spider-Man in the movies. So it's not like it's a complete benefit for MCU fans, but I mean, on the whole, it's a wonderful situation to have happened. and we can thank Tom Holland and for his portrayal of the character and loving it so much and caring about the fans for leveraging so hard. If you didn't care, just be like, I'm getting paid either way, you know? I'm still going to be Spider-Man, I'm still going to be in movies, but he cares about artistic integrity and the integrity of stories and the fans who supported him being in the MCU, so.
And he feels
Good.
so good right now.
Yep. It's a big shot. Big Hollywood, big shot. That's basically it. I was hoping Varvin would be here to have, like, more, you know, them being the Spidey fan. We have more opinions, but they are both absent. I
Yep.
don't know if you two have any thoughts on the situation.
I mean,
I'm not surprised.
yeah, neither am I. I'm not. You're asking the wrong people for that.
I know.
Um,
Trust me, I know.
I mean, I'm happy. I'm very happy. This is basically what I wanted, so I can watch Spider-Man movies again. So,
Sweet.
yeah, no, I'm
That's all I
content.
gotta say.
I'm very glad. And,
It's a positive situation. I'm glad for people winning out in the end. But yeah, everybody send your hate mail to Var and Vin. No, I'm
okay,
kidding.
VAR does not need
No hate
that.
mail. No hate mail. I'm just being.
Gosh.
Oh yeah, there is also one bit of thing that, like, if this podcast had been a week ago, I would be like livid, and you guys would have a funny like segment of me just screaming and going ballistic and foaming at the mouth. But it's happened, and I've kind of become just generally depressed by it now. But it's still worth mentioning. The Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider series is not actually happening anymore. It was going to be a Hulu program. And Hulu decided not to actually move forward with the show, citing creative differences. Whatever that means. Do I really believe that it's creative differences? Or do I believe that it's something to do with the fact that he's a pre-existing character from another property, making the switch to another show and another platform and trying to make that work without confusing new audiences while also paying homage to the show's history? I don't know. I'm thinking it's far more along the lines of that, but maybe it was just as simple as creative differences. They were pitching it to other networks, I think, but like realistically, who's going to pick it up? Disney Plus isn't, because they're having a no mature content rule, and in order to do Ghost Rider well, you have to be kind of violent. Like Shield wasn't that gratuitous. Shield was very reserved, because it was airing on network TV, but it was still pretty grim in terms of theming, and they did have people getting like burned alive. And
Yikes.
Freeform isn't gonna do it because that's like for kids stuff, and you know, more like drama shows like Cloak and Dagger and whatnot. Literally, the only other network that could maybe pick it up, people have been saying, is like FX. There's a lot of rumors that the mature Marvel,
Sure.
the mature Marvel series might find a home on FX, but I don't know enough about that to give any kind of informed like opinion whatsoever. So I'll cite it as a big maybe. But you know, Gabriel Luna's already posted and been like, "Thanks for the opportunity. I'm sorry it didn't work out." So clearly, he's not in the mindset of "there's still a chance." He's in the mindset of "it's finished." So I don't know what happened, but it's a massive disappointment to me. It was one of the reasons I think that I wasn't actually that upset about S.H.I.E.L.D. ending, is because I knew that it was going to live on in some form.
Oh, you dang.
Like, at least someone from it was going to carry the torch to have it, like, have a legacy, but no, that's shot too.
Rip the spin-offs.
You just kind of get, it kind of gets tiring. It's like S.H.I.E.L.D. is the Bionicle of Marvel. Like, it's very difficult being a fan of it when it constantly just gets like put down. Like,
My
Yeah, maybe in that aspect.
6 years of studio politics, behind the scenes corporate drama, CEO infighting, making it to where S.H.I.E.L.D. gets marginalized and never becomes a part of the bigger MCU. Finally, it gets recognized by having one of its actors break out into their own thing that could potentially become great, and then it gets all shot down.
Gee, Meso.
It's tough. It's tough when all your favorite franchises that you spend so much time involved with are just plagued with drama.
You know what, man? I'm so excited.
Because now we have the tools so that we can let the the ABC executives know that we want more Shield.
Oh, dear
And if we
God.
just make
Ghost Rider.
a Ghost Rider Agents of
Marvel
Shield ideas set and get it to 10,000. Oh wait.
One already did.
Mm-hmm.
It was average.
Rip.
No offense.
Rip.
It was very average.
I don't
Nice.
think that's the sole reason it wasn't selected, buddy.
No, I know.
I'm just saying, with one Marvel franchise getting canceled and one Marvel franchise staying alive, I can hear a certain plaything creaking in the distance at a playground.
The carving seesaw lives.
Okay, that's it. We're done. Alright, Meso, end it.
But what if I want to continue?
Then I will end it.
Maybe you will end it.
Maybe I will.
Do it, Meso.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening to this episode of the TTV Podcast. Please remember to support Sokoda's Legend of the Lego Ideas. Links will be in the description below. Tell your friends. As well as probably another video update.
Meso. Okay.
Yes.
Wait.
What?
No, am I back? I can't tell. You see, everyone,
What?
what's happening right now is it's a common occurrence called Discord server lag. And unfortunately, it seems to hit at inopportune times. So, for instance, when I'd like to proceed with the ending of the podcast, it decides to do this.
Is it me or you?
Oh,
Can
there
you
we
guys
go.
hear me?
I'm back.
What?
I'm
Oh,
back.
so it
Whoa.
was you. Could you hear me, man?
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Alright,
it
cool.
was.
Cool,
It's
cool, cool.
just me. You're gonna have to restart your spiel.
Oh, no worries. I was just saying, that's going to be all for this week's podcast. We'll see you all next week. Please be sure to go support Sokoda's Legend of the Bionicle. Share it with your friends. Spread it on social media. The links are in the description below. On the next podcast, we'll give a progress update on how it's doing. And we'll probably do another midweek video, just letting people know again, like, what's up with it. As well as I want to start putting out a few other videos just so we can utilize our new cool ad once we get that going. So we're gonna crank up video production. I might finally release those top 10s. I still got to record the last one. But yeah, we'll see y'all next week. This week's patron shout out is going to go to. I was gonna do Sokoda. This is a little.
Blow on the nose.
I'm gonna do last night, aka
Mid Blue.
Mid Blue.
Amazing.
Last night. I can't do the voice anymore.
Okay, you're done. Well, it's happened again. You know what? I'm not gonna wait anymore. I'm just gonna do it this way. Okay,
All right.
Meso.
Rip Eljay.
Say the names because they couldn't hear
I
it.
mess up.
I'm LJ.
I'm Mange.
Bye.